those nuts.
Oh god.
I don't know why you would want one.
So I can laugh.
I want 8.
No, I can read it. I'm trying to read it on the site. I just went to YouTube and must have
I have full-blown meetings.
Technically, you could like put it on Lulu as long as you didn't get any royalty from it. And then buy it.
Why do you like this?
Because it's funny.
It's so great.
I know that's hard.
Aaron, you're just a fucking prep.
No, I know absolutely nothing about this. I'm just here to support her. She chose to let me borrow it. The entire thing.
This makes Stephanie Meyer look like
Yeah.
It makes Stephanie look like Shakespeare.
Oh my god, I was like, yeah,
No, I think it makes Stephanie Meyer look
not that much.
about the same quality. Less spelling mistakes, but it's about the same.
Better proofreading.
Better for
Spelling mistakes. Morty McFleet.
Alright.
Okay, guys, it's time to start the My Immortal support group.
Yay.
What?
You spelled preps and posers wrong.
Yeah, I need to put Z's and stuff in there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
You know.
Need more ones after that.
She's fixing it. Everybody, it's okay. She's fixing it.
Why are you fixing it? Because it's wrong.
Put a 3 there. Put a 3 there.
Yes.
Yeah.
One's
Oh,
better.
there we go.
Alright.
Alright.
So, this is the My Immortal support group. Just out of curiosity, how many of you have read My Immortal?
Only parts of it. So
How many of you have finished My Immortal?
Like 3 times.
So, we're your 2 main panelists. I love My Immortal. You like
Why am I here?
Yeah, but this is just like an overview of My Immortal, and we're going to see some cool stuff people have done with it. One of the first is, if you didn't know, it was actually in print for a short period of time. At one of the last copies, so I'm very happy about that. But this is the wonderful Tara who wrote the book.
I heard either her died or her friend died.
Her friend ended up dying, probably as a result of being associated with this story.
Wait, Raven?
Yeah.
Editor, no!
That's why the spelling errors got worse at the end. Raven wasn't there to edit it.
You know, she kind of looks like
I
that.
have a question real quick. Does the book include the chapter that someone hacked in? And
Yeah.
wrote? Oh my god.
Really?
Someone hacked it in just to finish the chapter, and I
I was
read
gonna
it
say
in like a website that
vicious,
had
but
it.
okay.
MyImmortal.com.
Yeah. So, just to get you guys introduced to My Immortal, here's a brief overview. You can find this one on YouTube, but it's chapter 17, which is one of my favorites.
My Immortal, Chapter 17. A dramatic reading. Tom Riddle gave us some clothes and stuff for free. He said he would help us with makeup if he wanted, because he was really into fashion and stuff. He's bisexual. Hardgrid kept shooting at us to come back to Hogwarts. WTF, Hardgrid, I shouted angrily. Fuck off, you shucking bastard. Well, anyway, we'll okay. Hardgrid went away angrily. Hey bitch, you look kawaii, she said. Yeah, but not as kawaii as you, I answered sadly, because Willow's really pretty and everything. She was wearing a short black corset thingy with blood red lace on it, and a black blood red miniskirt, leather fishnets, and black pointy boots that showed off how pale she was. She had a really nice body, with big bobs and everything. It wasn't enough to be anorexic. So, are you going to the concert with Draco, she asked. Yeah, I said happily. I'm going with Diabolo, she answered. Well, anyway, Draco and Diabolo came. They were both looking extremely hot and sexy, and you could tell they thought we were hot too. Diabolo was wearing a black t-shirt that said 666 on it. He was wearing tons of makeup, just like Marilyn Manson. Draco was wearing black leather pants, a gothic black GC t-shirt, and black Vans he got from The Warp to Power. Bloody Martha was going to the concert with Dracola. Dracola used to be called Navel, but it turned out that he was kidnapped at birth, and his real family were vampires. They died in a car crash. And he was gone. He was in Slytherin now. He was wearing a black warped t-shirt, black jeans and shoes, and black hair with red streaks in it. We called him Dracula now. Well, anyway, we all went to Draco's black Mercy Benz. Get it? Because we're Yes, that his dad Lucian gave him. We did pot, coke, and crack. That's what I made out. We made fun of those stupid fucking preps. We soon got there. I gasped. Gerard was the sexiest guy ever. He looked even sexier than he did in pics. He had long, raven black hair and piercing blue eyes. He was really skinny, and he had an amazing ethnic voice. We moshed to Helena and some Otter songs. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the other members. I gasped. It wasn't Gerard at all. He was an ugly, preppy man with no nose and red eyes. Everyone ran away but me and Draco. Draco and I came. It was ... Voldemort and the Death Dealers. Moronic idiots he shooted angstily. And the bee, I told you to kill vampire. Thou have failed, and now I shall kill thou and Draco. No, please, we begged sadly, but he took out his knife. Suddenly, a gothic man flew in on his broomstick. He had long black hair and a long black thread. He was wearing a black robe that said he shot at a spell and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore.
I was gonna wait this like
You can leave it like that.
Oh, Dumbledore.
It worked.
I sure love his Admiral.
So that's my Immortal in a nutshell. You guys can figure it out. It is supposed to be a Harry Potter fanfic. That goes out the window by the time you get to the second word. So basically, the story has a bunch of major flaws, as you can tell. Spelling, grammar, and usage are basically non-existent in the story. The main character's name is Ebony. It is often spelled Eneby and Eggy and various other things.
Damn it, Ebony.
As long as it's like spelled Enema. You also get other characters' names misspelled. There's a million ellipses in this story. Canon Rape High Score is in with this. All the characters are out of character. Like, I do not remember Draco Malfoy ever looking like Joel Madden, but he does in every chapter of this book. Yeah. Also, Voldemort is wearing high heels at one point in the story. Again, the inconsistency of the main protagonist. Not only does she misspell her name so much, but you can tell Tara wants to be Ebony because every now and then, instead of putting Ebony, she'll write Tara in there. So she is actually in her own story, becoming a Mary Sue.
I just think she's a ditto.
And probably one of the funniest parts of this is how bad the sex scenes are. I'll get to the book really quick. So, here is a sex scene. This is the first time Ebony and Draco make love.
And it's like 2 pages in, it looks like.
Like 6, but still.
That's like 30 chapters in.
Draco, I shouted, what the fuck do you think you were doing? Draco didn't answer, but he stopped the flying car and walked out of it. I walked out of it too, curiously. Yes, he walked out of a flying car. What the fucking hell, I asked angrily. Ebony, he asked. What? I snapped. Draco leaned in extra close, and I looked into his gothic red eyes. He was wearing colored contacts, which revealed so much depressing sorrow and evilness, and then suddenly I didn't feel mad anymore. And then, ... Suddenly, just as Draco kissed me passionately. Yes, I like that.
I'm surprised you didn't use kiss me sexually, though.
Yeah. Sexually. We get sexually later with stuff.
Kiss me depressing.
Draco climbed on top of me, and we started to make out keenly against a tree.
Like a whole flight
just learned
scene.
what adjectives are.
Yeah.
Are they like in the Jetsons now?
Huh?
Are they like in the Jetsons now? If they're in a flying car, now they're against a tree.
Yeah. He took of my top, and I took of his clothes.
Oh.
I even took of my bra. Then he put his thingy into my you-know-what, and we did it for the first time. I
Oh, that's so
screamed.
romantic.
I was beginning to get an orgasm. We started to kiss everywhere, and my pale body became all warm. And then, ... What the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers? It was ... Dumbledore.
I am not amused or turned on.
It gets worse. So then the very next chapter.
There's more?
There's a lot more. I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went into his room and locked the door. Then ... We started Frenching passively. What? They're Frenching passively. And we took...
Like, oh, hey. Bye.
And while Frenching passively, we took off each other's clothes enthusiastically.
There's a range of emotions.
Like cheering music in the background.
He felt me up before I took off my top. Then I took off my black leather bra, and he took off his pants. We went on the bed and started making out naked. And then he put his voice thingy in mine. And later on, she has a tool, apparently.
I think you're reading this with better English than it's actually written.
No, this is when Raven wasn't dead yet, so it's actually written kind of well.
Okay, so later,
Yeah.
it's worse. Okay.
And after that horrible scene, she puts in parentheses, "C is that stupid." Yeah. So, that's basically her terrible, terrible sex scenes. And also pop culture references. I'm sure many bands wanted to commit suicide after this story came out. We'll get to it in a second. But these are some of her most famous spelling errors.
I'm cheering so hard.
Every word is misspelled at some point in this book.
Do you want to get drunk fast? Like,
Oh, I played the drinking game. We didn't make it through like the 5th chapter.
yeah.
It was bad.
Every
Every time, you can do it, every time she misspells a word, which will probably kill you. The one we played was every time she makes a pop culture reference, and every time she mentions what she's wearing. And just those two, we were horribly drunk by chapter 5. So.
What page is chapter 5?
4.
This is how much it is to get to chapter 5. There you go.
Basically by chapter, or page 2,
There's a lot of drinking games online you can find if you're brave. These bands are mentioned a lot, especially Good Charlotte and its frontman Joel, and My Chemical Romance and their frontman Gerard. Because apparently Draco looks just like Joel Madden, and Harry Potter looks just like Gerard Way.
Who would have thought?
Yeah. And these all come up. Obviously, My Immortal is taken from Evanescence, because apparently she was going to kill herself, and Evanescence came on. But she didn't die and wrote this book instead.
Asshole.
Unless
Jordan me again.
yeah, we already saw that. So we went over Ebony a little bit. She's the main protagonist.
Wait, I know these?
Why is there an apostrophe between dark and ness?
Because she's original and creative.
Be Lou Mary.
Yep. And Raven is taken from her best friend's name, obviously. And at one point, Tara and Raven get in a fight over, I think it was a MCR poster that Tara had stolen or something from Raven. And they were in a fight. She changed the middle name to Tara instead of Raven momentarily. So that was funny.
I know
so,
why this book's so bad. The writer has dementia.
Yeah.
And the darkness.
And you can learn a lot from her author's notes at the beginning of each chapter, which are horribly, horribly